Oh, shalom. It's Daniella Rabbani, the host of the Mom Curious podcast. And that's it. Just me. It's just me. Sometimes I do these solo podcasts episodes, and you seem to enjoy them, and I really do appreciate that. So thank you, thank you, thank you. I just wanted to tell you a little bit about my May, which was Mental Health Awareness Month and Jewish American Heritage Month. So, like, my month. It was also Asian American Pacific Islander Heritage Month. Just a shout out. But I wanted to tell you about it, not because I was at the White House. Why wasn't I at the White House? Did you notice that people were at the White House? That was cool, actually. I think this is the first administration that is, celebrating this way, celebrating Jewish American Heritage Month for sure. I didn't even know it was a thing until a couple of years ago, but great. I'm so glad it is. I took it upon myself to read to my son's kindergarten class. He goes to a public school. And part of why I love his school is because of the tremendous diversity, and not just racial diversity. I mean, just economic diversity, sure, but also neurodiversity. And I just think I'm really lucky because I live in Brooklyn. I live in Brooklyn, New York. I live in, a very special place where we get to all learn from each other. And I think he's the only Jewish kid in his class. I could be wrong. But either way, I asked his teachers if I could come in and read a book. And many of you, thank you, suggested some really great books because I couldn't find anything that was particularly Jewish American, as a primer for his class. There's 24 kids in his class. But I took your suggestions. I ordered them all. And the first one that came that was about baking, essentially. And so I brought cookies and this book. And his friend Emmett was like, I have that book. The book is called Bubby and Rifki's Best Challah Ever So Far. And I was like, wow, that's so cool. I didn't know Emmett was Jewish. That's really great, blah, blah, blah. And I read, and one of his friends literally asked, what is a Jewish person? And I said, me, which was cool. I expanded on that, but it wasn't a good answer, so I'm not going to share it here. I was like, it's an ethno-religion. And the teacher was like, there are 5. So I was just like, it's me. And yeah, so I read the book. And then the next day I went on a field trip with the class, and I told Emmett's mom, I was like, wow, that was so cool. Emmett was the only one who had ever read this book. Ness had never my son, Ness had never read this book before. And she's like, yeah. We're not even Jewish, and it's such a lovely book. And I was like, what? She's like, yeah, I just found it on the street. And I'm a poet, so I love books. Oh my God, you guys. I mean, could you die? Is that the cutest thing you've ever heard? It made me so happy. It made me so endlessly happy because, I pick up books about other cultures all the time, different family orientations, and you never know, you never know how it lands on the kid. But to be on the sort of quote unquote receiving end of another family going out of their way to introduce their child to my culture, it meant so much to me and was so sort of effortless and fun for them. And I just thought, oh, yay literature, yay books. It works. It actually works. I remember when Alexis Barad Cutler came on to talk about the non-binary child, among other things, and she was saying there's a long list of books, which, by the way, you can find in the show notes of that episode, about the non-binary experience for adults, but also for kids. And, I read these types of books to my kids all the time. I enjoy delving into other people's cultures. Like I really, really, I mean, I'm an actor. I enjoy, living in different worlds. Um, but it was a really special experience to just see how comfortable Emmett was with not just like the text, but the idea of challah. And he understood what bubby meant, which means grandmother in Yiddish, which is an Eastern European Jewish language. And then I just like handed out cookies. By the way, if you're going to come in and like teach kids about your heritage, bring sweets. And what was really cool is that I could tell them, like, you can always get, rugelach, which is a Jewish pastry, anywhere here in New York City. Maybe not anywhere, but many, many, many bakeries have them. So you can always like remember this day. And that was really special. And I think, and I was telling Emmett's mom, it was such a cool experience because to just like see these beautiful young people openly questioning and, being curious about something they sort of know a little bit. I mean, they know Ness, they know my son, they know a Jewish person. And I know that he has sort of told people about like our holidays and maybe Shabbat, or he wears a Jewish star around his neck. And like to have a half hour with these kids to just like share of myself and a little like piece of Judaism with them was really special. And I just wanted to encourage you guys, friend, do it. Do it. Do it. I think we have such an opportunity with young people to introduce them to concepts and ways of life in a way that's fun and loving and engaging. And it filled me with so much hope. It filled me with so much hope. And of course, pride. Ness was really happy, and that was a real bonding moment for the two of us. But he felt so seen by his peers. Yeah. I think like sometimes I do a lot of calling out of our society. Which has its place. I mean, society's got to change and evolve and grow and get better, etc. But I think, and I felt this way when I was teaching children, I think we're going to be okay. I don't know if you ever have this experience when you're with a kid and you're like, oh my God, like people are awesome. They're full of life and emotion and whatever, passion, but we're gonna be okay. Things are okay. I had a real feeling of that. So I thought I'd share that with you. Do me a solid, would you? Hit me up on Instagram. Tell me how this landed on you. I'm at Daniella Rabbani, and I love hearing from you. I love when you let me know what works and what might not. And if you have suggestions around guests or topics, I'm learning more and more that there are things that are like unspoken in the world of being a woman. More and more things than I even recognized. We've been doing this podcast for nearly 2 years, and we've just begun to scratch the surface. So if something's on your heart, would you let me know? And please do rate and subscribe and review and share and all that good stuff, because that's what keeps us on the air. Really, though, that is what keeps us on the air. So thank you. Thank you. Thanks for listening. And I hope this was helpful to you. I hope I hope you email your kid's teacher if you have a kid and you have something you want to share with the class. Like just that experience for yourself, actually. Of course, for them, could be really valuable. And I hope you have that moment for yourself. Kids are cool. All right, friends. See you in a week, right here on the Mom Curious podcast. Thank you, as always, for listening to the Mom Curious podcast. My name is Daniella Rabbani. I am your host, and I would love to continue this conversation at Daniella Rabbani on Instagram. And if you'd be so kind to rate and review, share this podcast, I would be just really grateful. Catch you next time, every Tuesday on the Mom Curious podcast, produced by Hoff Studios. You can find them at Hoff Studios on Instagram as well. All right, have a great day.